Hello, my name is Noreen Sumpter, and this is Live Life Your Way, my show, which is about creating the life that you want to live. And I am a personal life coach, and the areas that I specialize in is confidence and self-esteem. And my tag or my commitment is that my clients own their voice, speak their truth, and live life their way. Or as I write it, live life your way. And what I say about that, it is important for us to design and create our lives the way we want them to go. Not the way our mothers, not the way our fathers, not the way society says. I think it's really important to discover and create who we are, what we're about, and what we want to give or be in our lives. It is one of the greatest gifts that you can give yourself if you are living your life from your authenticity, and that it's who you're being. When you step into the street, people get you. They get the whole essence of you without you even opening your mouth, because you're that complete. You have the freedom to literally transform yourself over and recreate yourself over and over and over again. And there's sometimes with many of us, there's that fear that we're so worried about what people think about us, what people are going to say about us, that we don't. We shut ourselves down and we remain small. So I am committed that people that I impact or come up and meet on my day-to-day on this journey called my life, own their voice, speak their truth, and live life their way. I am a space for that. I'm a space for people to be authentic, people to be loving, to people to be kind, so they can have fun. So I really want you to get something. Even if you only listen once, I want you to walk away with one kernel that can help you move along more smoothly and easily on the road which you call your life. They say actions speak louder than words, and a smile says, I like you. A smile says, I find you interesting. But there are different ways that one smiles. Like you can have one of those smiles that somebody just gives you a sort of a fake smile. That is a kind of a smile that most of us resent because we don't particularly, we can recognize those smiles as inauthentic. Anyway, I just want to share with you my experience on getting to the studio. I have to get this out of my way because it literally is in my way right now. And yes, my show was pre-organized around smiling. But right now, I don't feel like smiling. I feel like crying, actually. And why? Why do I feel like crying? Well, I'm on my way to the studio this afternoon. I get on the A train and there's this young boy of like 16 years old lying on the floor. Now this is nothing to smile about. He's lying on the floor. What's going on here? He's got earbuds in. So I shake him. First I shake him with my hands, but I shake him again and he's not responding. I kick the bottom of his shoes with my shoe to see if he would, jar him a little bit. And then I really started to shake him with both hands. And he wasn't waking up. And so I said, if there's anybody down there that's close to the conductor, please let the conductor know that we have a man on the floor right now. And if somebody has signal on their phone, please call 911. And I tell you, in that moment, I was like literally heartbroken. To actually see a human being on the floor of the subway laying there, and it was like parting of the waves, and no one would even give him 5 minutes of their time to check and see if he was alive or dead. To me, that's heartbreaking. We have all these wants and desires about the world that we want to live in or the New York that we want to live in. But who's going to really jump up and say, this can't happen? Like, the person's on the floor and we do nothing for him. But then the paramedic comes in and takes over. And I say, I find this really crazy that all of us are on this subway and nobody would actually do anything to help this guy. And this one man says to me, what do you expect us to do? We see bums on the train all the time. Are we supposed to stop the train for every homeless person? My answer to that question is yes, because that could be me lying on the ground. And I'm not going to assume that he's on drugs. I'm not going to assume that he's homeless. For me to now talk about smiling is really difficult, right? But it is true that a smile can literally transform the world. And taking actions when you see things happening, many of us are so afraid or want to look good or don't want to be embarrassed. Fear is false evidence appearing as real. Yes, when I was shaking that guy, I could hear people in the background going, "Oh, she's touching him." Yes, I was willing to accept that people will make comments because I look at he's me and I am him. That could be me on the ground. I'm a diabetic. I could have gone into a diabetic coma and I could have wanted somebody to wake me up or help me out and not assume that I'm a drug addict or I'm homeless or any of that kind of stuff. And it doesn't matter even if I was one of those kinds of people. At the end of the day, I'm still a human being. I need support from my fellow New Yorkers. So today I'm going to ask the question, who are you in the city? What is your role as a human being? How do you feel about your fellow man? Are you that selfish that you would actually step over, and people literally were stepping over this guy? Would you step over another human being just so that you can get to where you're going, get a seat, get away from him? Are your eyes open or are they shut? And are we asleep that we don't even notice another human being in need? I'm asking you, and these are things that we have to ask ourselves. Sometimes it's quite obvious that somebody's homeless or, their circumstance, but this was quite obvious that this was a child. It turns out that he was 16 years old that was in need of attention. And when he did come through, when he did come out of his stupor, he had no clue that he had been away or down that long. And when they asked him what day it was, he said it was the 15th. Today is not the 15th. Today is the 4th or the 5th of the month. I can't remember. I just wanted to share that with you, and I just wanted to ask you to ask yourself that question. Who are you in this world? What's your contribution to your fellow man? We're always looking for peace on the planet, but peace on the planet and generosity starts with you. Starts with you, this person here that's in your skin bag. Ask yourself, do I have peace? Do I have love? Do I have care for myself? Thus, I can have care for another person. Because if you don't have it, you can have all the smiles in the world. But, technically, people were smiling. People who are generous of spirit will not allow another fellow human being to lie on the floor in the subway. So that's my little rant. So maybe I can get on with the show, but I am literally heartbroken. My heart just feels I feel like somebody's been using a scrub brush in that moment. And literally I am experiencing pain from the front to the back that I experienced that today. New York City is the people. New York City is just a series of bricks and mortar and a place. It's a space that we call New York City. But New York City are the people that live here. Me, you, everyone that's a part of this. If we all left, there wouldn't just be an idea of New York City. But New York City is us. And if we're here and I'm here and I see you on the ground needing help, I'm going to support you. At least I can say I'm happy to know that I made a difference and that I did not ignore that young man and get off the train, because I would not be able to live with myself and I'd be wondering what happened to him. Let's care for each other, Let's create first world peace in ourselves so that we can give it to other people. And that's all I got to say about that. Show today is about smiling and it's really about happiness. And here's a good thing before that happened. So I'm on the train and I'm on my way here, and there are about 5 little girls, and they have these humongous stuffed animals like a unicorn, and they're happy. And how I know they're happy is that they're smiling and they're playing and they're singing that song, Doe a deer, a female deer, and they just sing it over and over and over again. And they're smiling and they're laughing. And I just thought to myself, wow, this is a perfect start to coming into the city to talk about smiling, because these children were happy. And what happens to us as we get older? I'm a big networker, and I find that you're attracted to the people who are smiling. You're attracted to people who feel happy. And happiness is something that you can feel it. You know if you go around a person and they're not exactly happy, or they have an energy that is kind of low, because it brings you down. We are energetic. You can allow that person's energy to bring you down. What I hear a lot of people say is, you can't expect to be happy. Well, I do believe that you can expect to be happy. Happiness is a choice. You choose to be happy. You choose to smile. All the things that we want in life are choices. And we can say things like, oh, what is there to be happy about? Well, if you don't know what there is to be happy about, then you might want to look in your life and see, what are you creating? Because happiness is I think it's your birthright. I think it's an opportunity. I think it's your birthright. I think it is critically important to be happy. If you're being happy, you're going to do happy things. And the results are you're going to get what you put out. An example for me was yesterday. I have these glasses. I absolutely love these glasses. When I bought these glasses, they were like really different. They were made by a designer. So on Sunday, I realized they had a crack. I go to the store and I say to the lady, my glass is cracked. She goes, there's nothing we can do. They're broken. I said, I got that. So she said, you know what? After I looked at her, and we just sort of did an eye-to-eye thing. I didn't really argue with her, fuss with her, nothing. I just said how sad I am. And so she's looked at me and she said, I'll connect with the designer. I doubt that he has any more because, they're out of season now. What I heard go off in my head was, Noreen, you're your best advocate. And so what that said to me is like, you can send him an email. And I remember when I first bought the glasses, I gave the designer 5 stars and really talked about really excited how I was to get these glasses, and I love them so much, and they're so uncommon, and I thought I had pressed 5 stars, but I didn't. I pressed 1 star, and he said, I thought you loved him, you only gave us 1 star. And I said, and I gave him 5 stars. I realized that he might remember me. I crafted an email and I shared with the designer how much I loved his glasses. I shared with him the amount of compliments I received, that I am so happy to wear these glasses because I know that I'm not going to see a million people wearing the same glasses as myself. And just shared with him, I really enjoy and love wearing these glasses. I'm a firm believer that you don't have to spend, even though I did spend a pretty penny on these, but I spent the money because I really enjoy the glasses. And writing that email from using my energy, what I felt about them, I think it's important. I think what happened is that the message was conveyed to him, and he got my communication. I think also that that's what had him send me a free pair of glasses. And I absolutely love that. I find that to be really awesome. And so there's an old adage, right? And the adage is that a man or a person with a sour face, I'm ad-libbing it, with a sour face should never open a shop. Why? Because imagine you have this sour face and you open a shop. People come into the store to purchase your goods and supplies or whatever it is you're selling, and your face is like sour. Push up. As my mother would call it, she called it push up. Your face is push up, right? That is not what people want to see in coming in. And then there's in the Dale Carnegie book, I read a story about a man that was taking a course. He decided to take this course, and the course was about smiling. I call smiling your own personal accessory. You can have no jewelry on, no nothing on your face, no makeup, no anything. But if you have that smile, even if you have no teeth, because a smile literally comes, it's like your eyes, and then it triggers your mouth, but it also triggers your inside. You're just this big glow of smiling and big glow of happiness, right? But in the story, this man, he decided to take a course. He was married, and he says that he's lived with his wife a few decades, And he knew that he was a crotchety old sod. And what he would do, he says, every morning I come downstairs, he goes, I don't say anything to my wife, and I just eat my breakfast and I get up and go. So this guy, he says, I haven't spoken to my wife in I don't know how long. And for me to come downstairs and to talk to her and smile and say good morning, it's going to blow her mind. So imagine your person comes downstairs after living with them and they don't smile, they don't talk to you, and they come downstairs and they smile at you. I put myself in that situation. That would blow my mind. I would be so nervous. I would be so uncomfortable. I'd be worried. I wouldn't know where to take this. I'd be shocked the first morning. So this man decided that he was going to take it on for a week, as long as the course was. And he's going to come down every morning and he's going to smile and he's going to have some conversation with her. And it did. It blew her mind. But he said that the fact that he came downstairs and had this conversation with her, and her experience of him was in shock and awe, and doing it more and more each day, he actually enjoyed it. He actually enjoyed the communication, enjoyed the smiling, enjoyed the connection. And so he kept it up. Their whole relationship shifted and changed. And not only did his relationship shift and change within his marriage, it shifted and changed within his job, because he was so accustomed to being crotchety faced that everybody on his job expected him to be crotchety faced all the time. So when he started to interact with people and smile and talk and communicate, people were in shock. And one person on his job even said to him, when I first met you, I was terrified of you because you had no smile, you were miserable. And he goes, and he admitted it. He said I was. And he said, I actually now like this person better. What I'm taking away from that conversation is that this person actually liked himself better this way. I can imagine what it's like walking around the world with no smile, no connection, no involvement, no communication with your fellow human beings, or even the people you say you love. You give them minimal of you. That must be really heavy. So that's something to look at. If you are a person that does not communicate, that does not share, that does not engage, that does not smile, and you have this crotchety, foul kind of, it's like a foul smelling attitude, I am going to charge you. I charge you to take on smiling and being open and generous with your spirit for 1 week. Be as sunny as you possibly can, even if it just starts with one smile. Not a smile just because you can, because a smile just you can will be a sincere smile. But an insincere smile is like this. It's like, it's all teeth. It's just mechanical movements of your face. There's nothing. You're dead in the eyes, right? Let me see if I can do that. No, dead in the eyes. Well, I have done that. Have a look at yourself and see, am I a person that gives sincere smiles or insincere smiles? You know, the kind of smile that you're on the subway and somebody looks at you and you look at them and then you look away and you look at them and you look away and they're smiling at you, and then eventually you have to go like this. You smile back at them and see who you are. Smiling is really important. It is one of your best assets. It's one of your best assets, and it's an amazing accessory. I also have an experience where I call smiling like karmic energy. It's like sharing energy with another human being. It's I don't know, I think it's a beautiful experience. I love smiling. I love laughing. I have the thing where I do 10 times a day, minimum of 10 times a day, laughing. I was laughing a lot today before I started, with the experience on the train, but that's another story. It's important to still have laughter in your life. A friend of mine told me that she did a workshop whereby in the workshop, the people that were supporting them were told not to smile. And so a lot of the people in the workshop were very upset at the fact that the supporters or the helpers of the workshop did not smile. So they made it mean that these people didn't care, or that, I don't know what they made it mean. But like, what do you make it mean when you meet somebody that you smile at and they don't smile at you? What I used to make it mean was that, one, they don't like me, or two, they don't even see me. Now I realize that just because I smile at a person and they don't smile back doesn't mean that they don't see me, they don't care about me. It just means that they just didn't smile. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean they don't like you. It doesn't mean they don't care about you. It doesn't mean you're not important. It doesn't mean anything. All it means is they just don't smile. So that even though I said earlier, a man with a sour, or a person with a sour face should never open a shop, but I know that they can open a shop and they can be successful. But to go into a shop, we always expect people to be smiley. When we give our money, we expect people to be smiley. And sometimes it's not like that. Sometimes some people are just focused. I remember this guy who was a neighbor of mine who, he's dead now. And God rest his cotton socks and his soul. But he's dead now. And I remember he used to see me all the time and he'd go, "Hey sis, how you doing? Hey sis, how you doing?" And I remember I saw him and I'd be like, "Hey," and he just walked by me. What's going on? So one day I saw him sitting on a stoop and I asked him, "Did I ever do anything to offend you?" And he goes, "Yeah, you did." And I was like, "Whoa, what did I do?" So he said, "I saw you a few months ago and I said hello to you and you didn't say anything back." And I said, "Really? Me? I never said anything back to you?" And he says, "No." And I said, "Could it be that I was in my head, I was racing somewhere, I was rushing around trying to do whatever, and I was just like focused, one dimension, where I'm going?" And he says, "Well, you didn't say hello to me and I got offended, and I figured, what the hell's wrong with her, And so I just stopped talking to you." I said, "I am so sorry." I said, "But you know what? Who you are for me is somebody that always says hello, hey sis, always happy. If I did that to you, I apologize." And after we cleaned up this mess between us and I was talking with him, and he got his energy, I knew he was going to die because and how he died, because his energy got so low and he got so bitter and he got so angry. He was so angry and so afraid that literally, even if the doctors were trying to support him, his energy did not feed him in any way. And what happened was he eventually expired. I'm not saying that he wasn't expected to die or prone to die. But I think that if anything, his upset, his disappointment, all those things, his joy got sucked out of his life because of his prognosis. And he died. Anyway, that's a little bit sad, but it's important to have when I say smiling, it's really important to feel good about yourself, care about yourself, be in love with yourself, be joyous and happy, so that no matter what happens to you, you know that you still have this joy and this love for yourself, and it doesn't take you out of your game. And taking you out of your game, what I mean by that is it takes you out of your life. So my purpose for sharing about the workshop, where the helpers or the support of the workshop were advised not to smile, is that what happened was the smile that they would have had they not been advised is an add-on. So if you meet a person and they don't smile, doesn't mean anything about you. Just if you want to continue to smile, continue to smile. That's your right. And it's their right if they don't want to smile. But a smile is worth more than 1,000 words. It means I like you. And even without a smile doesn't mean I don't like you. It just means I'm not smiling. Okay? Also, I just want to say that happy people are most happy people are people that are doing what they love and doing what they enjoy. And I find that most successful people, I didn't say all, I said most successful people are happy, and they'll be smiling and they'll be joyful about their work. And I think that it really helps us to be successful if we're happy and we're passionate about what we do. We don't have to be the ones that knows everything about it, but when you're happy and you love what you do, you're willing to go and find out. You can say to the person, no, I don't know anything about that, but what I can do is I'll find out and I'll let you know. Because not only when you go to find out, you're expanding your knowledge. I remember working on a job that, I was okay about the job. It wasn't a big deal. But what happened for me was the job became really great when I decided that I wanted to go back to school and learn something. And then the job it opened up for me, it became wonderful. And so that, because what was great about it, I was happy to go in and do the job because I knew that I had this other thing to do when I left in the afternoon. So I think it's really important to love what you do, enjoy what you do, because that in itself brings a smile to your soul and to your being. So if you're stuck in a rut, if you are in a relationship where you want to exit but you don't know how to, if you're in, and that could mean your job, that can mean a love relationship, that can mean a situation that is not working with you, it could be the kind of relationship that you're having with yourself, you can reach me at my email address, which is Noreen, Noreen, at NoreenSumpterCoach.com, or you can call me at 917-945-5907. I am open to having conversations with you to see what's working, what's not working, or what's not working as well as you'd like it to in your life. And from there, you can get a sense of how I work, and if you can choose to see if you'd like to work with me.